You see, I think prestige, I think prestigious, I think prestigious, I think wine, I think wine. I think it's time to thank the sponsor of this video, like how I did that. This video is brought to you by Bright Cellars. Bright Cellars is a monthly wine subscription that uses a 7-question quiz to pair you with your wines based on your taste. Yeah, I like me a nice glass of red, some Cab, some Merlot. Y'all know everything about me. One thing you might know about me is I'm a self-proclaimed creature of habit, so I'm glad that Bright Cellars uses a quiz to pair me with wines and help me get out of my routine. After you take your quiz, it lists out your 6 wines and you can swap out the ones you may or may not want to keep. Then Bright Cellars sends you your box of 6 wines, no need to even leave your house. It also comes with cards with information about the wines, tasting notes, suggested pairings, serving temperature for the connoisseur in you. Of the wines that got suggested to me, my personal favorite was the Happy Medium. Surprisingly light, not too sharp, nice and smooth, like glass of wine in the bubble bath kind of smooth. Y'all know everything about me. And Bright Cellars is offering you 50% off your first 6-bottle box, so click the link below, take the quiz, get started. And thank you very much to Bright Cellars for sponsoring this video. It really helps out. I appreciate that. And now, we review a movie that's very requested on my channel. Like in the history of my channel, I'm actually surprised I haven't reviewed it sooner. Prestige. The Prestige. So The Prestige was written by Jonathan Nolan and Christopher Nolan, directed by Christopher Nolan. This came out after Batman Begins, between Batman Begins and Dark Knight, so 2007, I believe it was. And just like you had to choose, because The Prestige and The Illusionist came out within a month of each other. It was like, all right, Prestige or Illusionist. Choose. Now, I can go about this video one of 2 ways. I can go the spoiler-free review route or the spoiler route where I talk about the spoilers and how great they are. I'm gonna go the spoiler-free route because I would rather entice people who haven't seen The Prestige to watch The Prestige because of this video. Because if you haven't seen The Prestige, that's a shame. So possibly fix that crying shame. It's like when people are like, I've never seen Breaking Bad. I'm like, I envy you. You get to see Breaking Bad for the first time. That's amazing. Same with The Prestige. If you look at The Prestige at face value, and face value alone, it's a very engaging movie about rival magicians. It takes place at the end of the 19th century. These 2 up-and-coming magicians played by Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. They briefly work together until tragedy really just, now they're at odds. And you know I love me a good movie about rivalry and conflict. This is one of them. Just looking at it from that capacity, the tension between these 2, one goes after the other goes after the other. It's escalation. So where's the conflict between the 2 magicians that keeps me engaged? But really, it's the craftsmanship of this movie. This movie is a magic trick. It's a cinematic magic trick. You'll know what I mean when you see it if you haven't seen it yet, but it's a wonderful parallel of how this movie is executed and the theme in which it's telling the story. But there are parallels among the characters. Like Tesla's in this movie, played by David Bowie, who's this like dark horse of a scene stealer. And this movie touches on the Tesla-Edison rivalry and dynamic. Some would call it that. Others would call it Tesla getting royally fucked. But that Tesla-Edison dynamic is a great parallel to the dynamic between Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman's characters in this movie. It speaks to the fact that The Prestige is a case of waste not. Details matter in The Prestige, and you look at it, I don't know what one could change. Even the things that might not feel like they're flowing upon first watch, you go back and watch it, it's very important stuff. It's really hard to talk about The Prestige and keep it vague with no spoilers. This is a well-crafted, engaging character piece about ambition and the dangers of it, the line between ambition and being consumed by something, and just the pain and destruction you leave in the wake and what it can do to you, how it can turn you. But also, even if you're not a shitbag, if your intentions are more pure than, say, the asshole in the story, people still get caught in the wake of your love for your craft and your ambitions. So really, where is the line there? But obviously there is a line. But it's all the same to the collateral damage to the people who get caught up in the hurricanes of other people's ambitions. Even to this day, when I watch the movie, I'm always like, is that Hugh Jackman? Like, Hugh Jackman plays a double. His character needs a double for a trick, you know? You need someone who looks like the magician. And this guy's a complete belligerent drunk. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, is that him? He looks different enough, but the same. It just kind of blew my mind when I first saw it. I didn't know. I didn't know if that was actually Hugh Jackman or not. Which really, Hugh Jackman's great in the movie, but his performance as this drunken asshole, that's the best. Really, The Prestige kind of reminds me of James Cameron's The Abyss, though nothing like The Abyss in terms of plot. What I'm saying is, you look at James Cameron and Christopher Nolan, both they're craftsmen of imagination when it comes to cinema. You look at James Cameron, it's like Aliens, Terminator 2, Avatar, because it broke all his box office records, technologically speaking. However, in there is The Abyss, which is low-key one of Cameron's best movies. And that's kind of how The Prestige is for Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan has made movies out there that cast a much bigger shadow than The Prestige, so they get all the talk and all the chatter, but in there is this movie that's low-key one of Nolan's best movies. The last act of this movie has what a few Christopher Nolan movies have, where it's like, I'm asking you to take a leap. And now we've hit that phase where I just gotta Indiana Jones it and be like, all right, sure. Which I'm fine with the movie asking me to take one leap, and this movie definitely does. But it works out. Because if you take Nolan's hand and you go with him on this leap, he will lead you to an ending that it's an amazing ending. The end of this movie just gets me every time. You know, it's when I see the end, I'm like, that's one of the better endings out there. One of the best. And it's one of those movies, when you watch it, you're like, I need to watch that again. Just logistically speaking, I should. Gotta go back, notice things that I didn't notice before, and when you watch it a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time, you will notice new stuff every time. But when I went back to watch this movie a second time, the day after I watched it the first time, I never felt like it was homework. I just watched it again because I wanted to watch it again. I was just along for the ride for the second time. Maybe I'm just reminiscing because that was before YouTube, and now when I watch a movie a second time, it's usually because, all right, I gotta do a spoiler video, and so my brain is in that mode. It's been so long since I went back and watched a movie because, you know, and The Prestige it's like the gold standard of a movie I did that with. It's like, no, I just watched it again because. Granted, I did it with The Dark Knight too, but it's just, I wasn't expecting to do it with The Prestige. The Dark Knight, I was like, if they pull off Joker, I'm watching this 3 times in a weekend, and I did. Prestige was just not on my radar to be that thing. I was just like, couple rival magicians. I say we watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again. And The Prestige is awesome-tacular. It kind of pained me to be this vague about this movie, so if you haven't seen The Prestige yet, please do it. I did this review for you. All right, so The Prestige, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or The Abyss? Either. Whatever you think of them, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more. You see, I think prestige, I think prestigious, I think prestigious, I think wine, I think wine, I think it's time to think spawn. You see, I think you see it. But in the end, as Michael Caine says, you're not really looking, because you want to be fooled.